Like, just if you want any water, you'll grab it too, alright?
Sir.
And then that's the little stuff on the counter there, of course, whatever you need to throw away or whatever, that's fine. Those pieces of wax.
Sir.
Yeah, man. You all know you could light this up in your house too, huh? If you have a menorah.
Sir.
Yeah, I mean, or just 7 candles, you know what I mean?
So Sluggy, is it so we can do it just any time during the
you ain't gonna light candles during the day.
Sir.
You know what I mean? You could keep them lit, but you could buy menorah for your home and keep it somewhere where it's safe and kids ain't gonna knock it over or whatever, and keep it lit. Once the sun go down, you keep it, because the sun go down, of course it's darker. People tend to keep lights off in their house. You could light it, you know what I mean? Because you keep it. Just think. I don't want to say Christmas. That's the wrong thing. But that's the closest example. Like everybody has a Christmas tree in their house. But the original thing would be Nimrod's mother, Ceramicus, where she had that one tree they would come and put.
Right.
But now, because of this widespread culture, everybody has it in their house. And they do. Just think like that. Just think it's not a Christmas tree, but of course this is our culture. Like you could keep one in your house. It's not an issue. Because of course, if this was the one would be in the temple where Mattathias rededicated. You know the point?
Yeah.
So it would be like that. That's would be the big main one. But it ain't nothing. It ain't mandatory. But you definitely could you know what I mean? Now, if for light bulbs, I ain't too sure. I'm gonna find out about it, because of course, if you just want to keep one lit, them candles gonna melt in about 2 hours. But you could get them candles that is like a light bulb. I'm gonna find out about that, because now we go into the Christmas tree with that shit. Now you don't get the one with the synchronized lights. You know what I mean? So I'll find out about the something with an electronic one or one with bulbs. I could find out about it for sure. But okay, I would say now that might be defeating the purpose of lighting it, like how we would light it. You know what I mean? Let's take traditionally. It's like, like the incense. Imagine there was an electric incense with, electric smoke. I don't know, a vape, vape and smoke. Now it's different from the, actually getting the coals and so I would say just traditionally, to keep the tradition, the candles, that wax burning down. Even something like kids today ain't never get burned with candle wax. I grew up with that shit because that's all we had when the lights would go up. Right? Flashlights was like a privilege. You know what I mean? Flashlights was like if you're gonna do something, you had to go out.
Yeah.
So you don't want to carry the candles. But I remember when the power go up, boy, I know the cabinet has it in, I know where the matches are, and you get wax on you, you feel it, but it's something that's missing. I would say, me personally, I would do the wax, but I could find out, I could ask tomorrow. When General does the scripture breakdown, I think he's going to do it from Florida tomorrow. I could find out tomorrow for sure if electronic or electric setup would work, would be just as good. You have a question?
I'm going to have to come back to it, but maybe just.
I'm listening.
It's like it was I was reading in Kings one scripture, and I saw a name, and it kind of confused me because it was the same name, and it was like a different father in a different chapter. Like at the end of one chapter, it said the son of the person and son of this person, but it was talking about the same person. It said
you probably had to find it from me.
Yeah,
I mean, if you find it from me, I could better be able to, go through it for you. You know what I mean?
It's concert.
You remember what it says? What it might have said?
Just vaguely, because I read this.
Even if you have to paraphrase it, you're not coming back to it?
Nah, so I'm gonna have to reread the whole book and find it.
Okay, no sweat. The question.
Carnal concern.
Okay. Do me a favor, brother.
Carnal concern.
I don't know if you might have to get like a shirt, that black shirt, just the edge of it, and just wipe that camera lens a little bit.
Carnal concern.
It's a little bit blurry. Or something with that texture. You might could mute the camera on the StreamYard. And then, thereafter. Okay. All right. You don't remember where it is?
Awesome.
No sweat. No sweat. A little slightly. That'll work out. Okay. All right. So in the meantime, I definitely want to give you all. Y'all ever had that hell breakdown?
Lie, sir.
Hell. All right. Hell. What is hell?
Is our condition, our state that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
It is not of the Most High.
No, well, it is of the Most High.
So like
The Lord puts you in hell. The Lord puts you in hell. Who you asking to get you out of hell?
the Most High.
All right then. So how you can ask anybody? Do me a favor before that, move that back so far around. Not from that side. Just on that side. Move it over to That way, just a little bit more, and you could put the mat there so the guard has room to sit in the chair. No, not
This
mat.
way.
Yeah, no. Use your hand. Use your feet. Use your feet. Next to it. No, right next to it. Right in that little slot right there. You got it?
Okay.
Yeah. So the guard chair is a little bit. You have more room to swing. All right. Okay. So hell, right, is definitely of the Lord, just like heaven is of the Lord. Right? What's heaven? Number quatch.
Heaven is also a condition.
It's a condition, a physical state of being. All right, that would be a more of your definition for it, right? Hell, a physical condition or physical state of being, sometimes mental and emotional. But it's it's still within this physical plane, right? Heaven is a physical state of being, sometimes mental and emotional and spiritual, but it still exists here, right? It doesn't exist anywhere else. Slacking, precept. Come on, you gotta be quick on the draw. You gotta be quicker than that, guys. You haven't jumped out. What's going on? No. You gotta be quicker than that. Come on, huh? Nah, man. Yeah, go ahead. But you want to tell them where it is? Mm-hmm. Your officership coming into question. One precept I need. Go ahead. Don't say Salaki to say Shalom when you're getting away. I say Salaki to give me the damn precept. Go ahead.
I didn't hear the question.
You didn't hear the question. Yeah,
Okay.
the Negroes are slick tonight. Give me one precept. Heaven and hell is a physical condition that exists here, right? It could be physical, where you're in physical pain, mental, where you're in mental anguish, emotional or spiritual, financial hell, but they all exist here. Now the precept ain't up there. It ain't up there, right? I need the precept, and so is heaven. Heaven and hell is conditions that exist, but they exist here where we are at. I need the precept that says it. Ready, go. Who got it? Who got it? Come on. Yo, come on. You got to be quicker than that. Yeah, come on with it.
Matthew's chapter 6, verse 9 through 13.
Mm-hmm.
If I may pull it real quick.
Let me see if that's it.
6, verse 9. Khan. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye on our Father, which thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'll take that. I wasn't thinking about that one, but I'll take that. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's right there where everybody know the Lord's Prayer. There's another one that real specific, but that's a very good one too. I'll take that definitely, as close second, a very close second. What you got, Bakash?
I got
You can sit over here, just so you can watch your computer and stuff. Anybody come in that slide, all right? No, you can leave those stuff right there. What you doing for the roll? Yeah, that's fine. The other stuff you can leave right there. And yeah, I'll take your sword. All right. There's another one. Come on. Come on. You can do it, Bobby. Come on. Good.
Call, sir. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And moreover, I saw under the sun.
Where?
Under the sun.
What's under the sun?
The earth.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The place of judgment, that wickedness was there.
Right. Leave a space for yesterday. It's for two names, all right? I don't think it ran up yesterday. The place of what?
Wickedness. Was there.
It was where?
Under the sun, sir.
Under the sun, on the earth. The place of wickedness was under the sun. It was on the earth. Go ahead.
And the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
Right? The place of righteousness and iniquity was there. Heaven and hell is under the sun. It's on the earth. You get the point? That's your precept right there. Heaven and hell is on the earth. No, go ahead. Do your thing, Salakia. Go ahead. Do your thing. All right. So that's the first thing. Heaven and hell, right? You define it. Now, give me some hell precepts. Give me some. Okay, first give me what does everyone outside of the UPK say hell is? Okay, boy.
They say it's a burning area that your soul goes to get tortured. You're chained up, you get beat by little red demons, and like this lava flowing and volcanoes and just flames all over the place.
Right.
Like a horror movie.
Right. It's amazing how, anyway. Right? So your lava, where do they say it is?
Underneath the earth.
Under the earth, right? And heaven, where's heaven?
In the clouds.
In the sky, somewhere where we can't see, invisible land. It's like Wakanda in the sky. Right? It's right there, but nobody can see it. And then you just, and that's what they think it is. All right? So now, anybody knows where, if you could give me the origin of that idea or ideology of hell, where does that come from?
Is that from Dante's Inferno?
Dante's Inferno. Come on, tell me about Dante's Inferno.
Dante's Inferno is he has, I think it was like 7 levels of hell where each.
First off, what is Dante's Inferno?
Dante it's a, I want to say is a Greek.
If you want to say, what should you do? If that's what you want to say, what should you do?
Just say it.
You should look it up because that's what you want to say. That ain't what it is. Right? If you ain't too sure, just look it up. All right. Whoever find it can read it. So I'll be brewing some water. There's some right under this chair right here. Just grab a few bottles. Anybody else want water? Grab three bottles, one for yourself, right? So what? Let's go. It should be easy to find because it's fairly popular. The guy who wrote it is fairly, and so now I'm to walk for now. All right. Anybody else who looked it up?
Yeah.
No? Dante's Inferno. It might say just Inferno. Try it. It might say just Inferno. Go ahead.
Dante Inferno. It says Italian for hell. Well, Inferno, Italian for hell.
Right. Italian for hell. Right? Go ahead.
Is the first part of Italian writer Dante Alighieri.
Mm-hmm.
Allegory's 14th century epic poem, Divine Comedy.
Oh, this one candle burning faster than everybody else. He will go defense or something. What's wrong with this candle here? This the candle with the microphone in it for question. This the candle with the bug in it.
Lies.
This one he burning faster than everybody else. I don't know. Go ahead.
Go, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It is followed by Purgatorio.
It coming from the word purgatory, right? You know where the purgatory comes from? Anybody knows?
Purgatory, I believe, is a Catholic dogma where it's like you're not in heaven, you're not in hell, you're just kind of existing, like in between.
Right. It's no, not in heaven or in hell. Okay, not in heaven or not in hell, and existing in between would be life, where we are, because we in the middle. Right? Purgatory would be you're not in hell, but you're in a place between life and hell. Meaning, like, they also call it limbo.
Concept.
You ever heard of limbo? Hear somebody say, man, you have me in limbo. What does that mean?
Like a seesaw. In the middle.
Yeah, in the middle, but not just in the middle, something else.
Kind of like suspended, you can't do things.
Okay, still not a little bit more than that. Just think limbo. When you hear limbo, what do you think of?
A low state. Like,
a low state. Go ahead.
From what I think about the limbo situation, where it's like your soul, you're lost. You don't know what your purpose is, and so you're just stuck right there.
You're stuck in limbo. Okay, that's a good way to think about it. Think limbo like you ever see the Caribbean island, Caribbean cruise, and the limbo, and they're going down. Imagine you're stuck like that. It's an uncomfortable position.
Concept.
You're not really in hell because you could breathe, but you'd rather not be here. But it could be worse. It's like that. That's where you get the whole limbo thing from. You limbo, right? You're stuck in a position that's not ideal. You're not really in hell, but it's like, damn, I'm here, right? That's like purgatory. You're in limbo. You're in a certain position, in a certain place. You ain't getting tortured yet, but you get the point, right? Go ahead.
It's like, sir, if I may, too, in the Catholic belief, they believe this is where all ghosts and spirits that roam are in this place. That's why the spirits roam, because they're suspended. They
didn't get to go wherever they're going.
Yeah,
right. So keep reading.
I got it, sir.
Please.
Kind. The Inferno describes Dante's journey through hell, guided by the ancient Roman poet Virgil. In the poem, hell is depicted as 9 concentric circles of torture located within the earth.
Right, 9 concentric circles, 9 circles with each other, right? And it's inside you, right?
It's
crazy. Go ahead.
It is the realm of those who have rejected spiritual values by yielding to bestial appetites or violence, or by perverting their human intellect to fraud or malice against their fellow men.
Right? So in other words, anybody who's violent, somebody who's, not too. Oh shit, yeah, he raps nice. Yeah, I'll just eat one on the strength of it. Just put a couple here, not too much. Just put a couple right here. I ain't gonna eat too much of it.
Couple cups, right?
It's a couple. Yeah, that's good enough.
All right.
So
What's
you got the rap snack. Make a face on something. Come here. I'm with it.
I'm too wild for water, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
Khan. As an allegory, the divine comedy represents the journey of the soul toward God, with the infernal describing the recognition and rejection of sin.
All right. So now, what was his poem supposed to be? So that's right there.
Seriously, this is a comedy?
Okay, the name of, I think the book is from, is the Divine Comedy or something. Something. The Divine Comedy of, what is it? Dante's Divine Comedy, the Divine Comedy or something. Right?
Divine Comedy by Dante
Allegory. And Dante's Inferno is part of it. I think that's his whole catalog, the Divine Comedy. Dante's Inferno, he was a poet. Mm-hmm. And a poet in those times is nothing close to today. A poet in those, think a poet in that time like Dave Chappelle, right, or Chris Rock. He doing social commentary, talking about the king, talking about the queen, but not talking about the king and the queen, right? Because that could get your head cut off. Right. So think he would, it's social commentary there, damn near like that. It's Bill Maher. You know what I mean? It's SNL. Right. This thing is one guy who's doing a body of work. And if you read it, you think this is a story about somebody on fire. Right. But this year, when you actually do the history of it, he was writing about the rich and what would happen to them, the rich Italians, because they were wicked and corrupt. And he was saying they're going to be punished for what they do. Right? That the whole Dante's Inferno was an allegory, which means it's a story representing something else. Right. It's not real. That's what his intention was. Of course, the Catholic Church took it, and common folk took it, and it became the definition of life after death. Right? That's where you get the whole hell from Hades. They married that with the pagan customs from the Greeks with Hades. Go ahead.
I remember what you're saying at the 9 circles. I believe there's a picture where it's like a turning cycle going up, and it has like the lower class and the higher class, like supposed to be like in rank. In rank.
It might be. It might definitely be. I can't say for sure. I didn't look into it that far, but I know it's definitely the poem. I think his whole body of work was talking about society, if I'm not mistaken. The whole society at that time, and how corrupt it was, and the rich just being mean. That's why who was supposed to be in purgatory? Just read that part. It's telling you right there who he's talking about.
It's of those who have rejected spiritual values by yielding to bestial appetites or violence, or by
those who have rejected spiritual values, which would be the good, common, think homely and like southern hospitality, right? Versus you know, city boy, right? You get the point. Just think like that. Think like whatever was their culture at the time, which would have been churchy, Catholic. And then those who rejected for what? Bestial appetites. You know what bestial appetite is?
It's like a base appetite.
When you say base, what do you mean?
I mean, like you're just going off your instincts, you're doing what you want.
A little bit more than that. Bestial meaning like a beast, and an appetite meaning a hunger. So how you're not a hunger. Appetite is your propensity to consume. Right? Like a baby doesn't have a big appetite. Right. You have a big appetite in a baby. Right. Compared to a baby, your appetite is bestial. You get the point? Compared to a child. Right. You get the point? A child don't even know sugar exist until you will run out of patience. I remembered it because till this day I regret ever giving them Cheerios. Because after that, bananas was not yummy anymore. Pears was not yummy anymore. I regret, because what sooner or later we in hell. You are slavery, you are this, you are that, you're running and rolling. Here's some Cheerios. What's this? Cheerios. More, and it's hell.
Right.
They're not even aware of certain tastes.
Right. But
you are. You get the point?
No.
Now just imagine you are aware of everything and you just go in and taking everything. Your propensity to consume is different from like a child who don't even know this thing is to eat. A child don't even know what sex is.
Right.
An adult does. You get the point?
Okay.
It's like your propensity to consume, the potential you have to consume. Is you that's appetite. So a bestial appetite is just like you're like a beast. You're a beast. Like he's a man. This LeBron James is a beast, meaning what he does on the court is just so far exceeding everybody.
Right.
The rich in their society, brother, their appetite was bestial. Right? You look at any depiction of Rome, you know, back then, the arenas, Spartacus, them type of stuff. It was just a big orgy fest.
Right.
You understand? It was just think who was it? It was not Caesar. Pilate's woman who wanted to have sex with John.
Concert.
It was his woman.
No, it wasn't. Paul's woman wanted to save Christ.
No, not that part. I'm talking about the woman who put John in jail and then called for his head. Either she wanted to have sex with him or her brother or her husband brother. Some nasty shit. John wasn't with the shit. And then she went to her husband and said, that John the Baptist, he talked bad about you. Put that nigga in jail.
Right.
Put him in jail. Then the king comes to her and say, well, what do you want? She said, John the Baptist head on a platter. And she got it.
Right.
And it came not because John was evil. It came because this bitch wanted to be a slaughter. A nasty slut. Right. Just think Rosewood.
Yeah.
You get the point? So now this thing, that's one woman in power. Right. The whole society is like that. Whatever they see, they're gonna get and eat and consume. And then there's a whole poorer class that ain't getting shit.
Right.
And that's why he wrote the poem. Right? To tell them, it's like he wanna find a way to tell them without doing this.
Right. Where
he can't get his head cut off. You get the point? Because this poem is a allegory. Are you talking about me? Hell no. It's fire under the earth.
Right.
That shit ain't real. You get the point? That's where it comes from. Right? Somebody had to have you there.
It's like if I may too, in the Catholic Church, they use the papacy. They use this to scare the aristocracy into paying tithes. Because prior to this, the rich class, they weren't paying tithes to the Catholic Church. That was used to just oppress the poor. And so this is what they use to say, well, listen, it don't matter if you're rich here, if you don't pay tithes to us, then when you die, this is your fate.
Until this day, the rich gave the church ridiculous money.
Yep.
Remember, I think Yahanna Holyfield, damn punches brought in the mouth because she gave the church the last of the money, the lights cut off in the mansion. You can look it up, it's a real story. I think he went off, he punched in the mouth, or he went to hell off. Because I think she gave the church the last bit of the money and the lights in the mansion was off. Some shit like that happened. Till this day, the rich think they could buy their way into something. Even in the scriptures, when the man wants to buy the Holy Spirit from, I think, Peter or Christ or somebody, I forget who, he offered tribute. I think it's in Acts. He offered tribute for the Holy Spirit. And they had to tell him, this shit don't come like that. And you would find that happening. That will happen. It's a difference between putting your money, putting your treasure where your heart is.
Right. It's
a difference between that. Because there's a difference between a millionaire donating 10,000 and a poor person giving you $1 when that's their last dollar.
Right.
You get it? It's a total difference. Go ahead.
It's like when you're saying that it's heavy because I think of when the Christian church always teach you, you got to give your last, and they always use the widow's mite to prove that.
And that's true. The problem is giving it to them.
Concert.
That's true. The problem is giving it to them. In here, listen, I'll tell you, one of them Passovers, we was up in Philly. Got to be maybe 2010, 9. Up in that school what's the name of that damn street where they on? In Upper Darby, right there, right? What is 49A? I forget the damn address. But that's school where they are right now. Upstairs, we had a Passover. Officer Yash Kapawada out of Oklahoma. Y'all know who he is, right? Big beard, gold teeth. The brother used to work in a mechanic shop. I think he did a bit of mechanic work, welding, and body work. He wanted to come to the Passover. Didn't have the funds. He went and pawned his tools to buy a ticket to come. And somehow the shit, okay, I think he wasn't coming, and then he just showed up. So the brothers is asking him as he's serving the food. Brothers is asking him, what happened? What? And he ended up saying it. Commander Jehan got wind of it and bought him brand new tools. You understand? Like that's right. Like that's how you know you're giving your last to the right people. You get the point? That's how you know, because that was his livelihood. He went through it. He went through it, that brother right there, and he knows. Now you get to see. Now imagine that's the church. Destroy a brother like that. You get the point? And that's what they do. All right? Go, Slucky, Yahanna.
Slucky. So now I was just elaborate on when you was talking about the rich trying to buy their way into the heaven or a high place, and it goes with how the Egyptians thought as well.
Exactly, with carrying their riches into the afterlife. Right? Their slaves gotta get buried with them. Nigga, you dead, I ain't down there.
Right.
You get the point? So that's it. Anyone, Dante?
It goes into like the 9 circles of hell.
I don't think we really need that. I don't need what's his philosophy of the 9 circles is. All right. So now that's where the idea you have today of hell comes from Dante's Inferno, right? Because of the Catholic Church at the time, the Roman aristocracy, all the pagan beliefs from before with the Greeks, the Greek gods, Egypt, right? Because they have a underworld too. What's the one? The black dog. What's his name? The dog head man. I'll tell you, he's a jackal. Go ahead. Anubis, right? Anubis is the dog of the underworld or the lord of the underworld, right? They all have that. Many of these cultures believe in some ruler of some underworld that comes and takes you or is ruling the underworld.
So if I could, because when we was going over the description of the angels, is it possible that these Hamites were seeing angels and saying that it was a god because it was like have 4 faces concept?
No.
Concept.
Let me tell you what it is. Without the truth, right? It's hard to think of it now. Without the truth, who's the most important person in your life?
Yourself.
To a point. But let's think growing up. Go ahead.
Growing up.
Growing up all the way to adulthood. Who's the most important person?
Parents.
We don't have parents.
Mother.
Your mother. Why?
Because she's there most of the time.
Because that titty tastes good. That's the end of it.
Come on.
That cuddling stays with you your whole life. And mama, from this to your first bruise, to your first heartbreak, who you're talking to, who's providing? Mommy. You get the point? And you grow up idolizing mommy, and everything is mama. You have a woman, but mama living with you, not because you need to take care of her, but because this I can't. You get the point? You understand what I'm saying? Why is that? Go ahead.
Oh, so like I was had another, but that's I I would have to say that's all we knew, especially with them removing the father from the house.
Okay, well, even the houses with the fathers in them, the mother still plays a more significant role. All right, let me give you another thing. Why did how to describe it? Farmers, okay. Baal. Who's Baal?
He's a father, sir.
But who, okay. Not a farmer. Hold on. I might be mixing it up. Nimrod was a farmer, right?
No, he was the king, sir.
Okay, he was a king because I think he was he was a hunter. He was a hunter, right? Huge hunter. When they say hunter, that means conqueror. I'm trying to say, who's the farmer that served Baal so much? I think they called him Baal. You scratch that because of my memory. The point I'm trying to bring is heathens submit themselves to whatever gives power. You understand? Whatever. Okay, you can't make fire. You can't just fire. So you make fire. Boom. And the fire comes, you start worship the fire. You can't make water. Water comes from the sky. Now we start worshiping the sky. Too much water you need, it's flooding the place. You need to stop. You need sun to dry it out. The sun comes, you start worshiping the sun. Whatever provides you with whatever is what you're going to worship. The same thing with the mommy issue. You get the point? You're going to start worshiping mommy. You understand what I'm saying? With them Hamites, who is heathens the same way. The jackal, the scarab, which is the beetle, the eagle, the lizard, the fish is worshiping what provided them with something. That dog was vicious and ferocious, and he'll put you in hell if you get close to him, meaning he'll eat you up.
Right.
Now we will start worshiping this thing.
Right.
This thing Native Indians and the totem pole. It's the same thing. Don't think they've seen something and misread the shit. There ain't no way to misread an angel of the Lord. There's absolutely no way. Like you ain't gonna see an angel of the Lord and be like a dog. No, you're gonna shit yourself out. You're gonna be, you're gonna be paralyzed with fear. You get the point? It's not an easy sight. It's not an easy sight, the angel of the Lord. You get the point? It depends on how we come.
Right.
But I wouldn't say that. Now there ain't no scripture proving it, but just on the culture of the heathens. The Arabs worship the moon and the star. Why?
I would say it provides them like a sense of direction, like they can go somewhere. They use that.
The Arabs are merchants.
Right.
When would they travel?
At night.
At night. Why?
Because it was slack.
Go ahead.
Because it was so hot.
It's too hot in the day. So the Arab caravan would be at night.
Right.
At night, you need the moon and the star. You need that North Star. You need the moon to navigate and to give you light. But there's no light in the desert. You get the point? So they worship the moon and the star.
Right.
Ningal and Nana. That was the ancient name of the moon and the star. Ningal and Nana. You could look it up. Since the Chaldeans, they had them fake gods, Ningal and Nana. Right? Islam, that moon and star ain't got nothing to do with Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Shit ain't got nothing to do with Wally Farad. Wallace, what's his name? Wallace what? Wallace Farad, right? Fareed. Wallace Fareed. That shit ain't got nothing to do with the Moors. That ain't got nothing to do with, Muhammad. Right? That's, the Chaldeans. Right? So that's how you get heathens worshiping things in nature. Right? They worship the beetle. Right? What else them done? They worship the eagle, Horus. I think Horus have an eagle head. Yeah, right?
Dag, fish.
The fish, Dag, that's from an ancient god, Dagon. Right? There's some ancient fish god called Dagon. I think that's what the Pope also gets that hat. That hat is the fish mouth. Right? Dagon was an ancient fish god.
If I may, sir, and Sammy brought that out because that Christians use that. A lot of Christians, they put that fish as the symbol, and they thinking that's has something to do with Christ and the fish, when that's really what they taking that from the Pope, and he took that from the Egyptians who took it from the
No, the fish sign, where it says peace, that's not from Dagon. That's from it's a sex symbol. What is it? Something fish they call it. It's something fish. I think, okay, from a memory, that's not his headpiece. Because his headpiece is square. It's like square with a, like a tip like that. It goes up like this. Right. Like if you hold a fish upside down. But they have a fish symbol, like it's like a line that goes like this and comes around. You see at the back of cars, you see Jesus in it, or peace. Yep. That's not from that fish. That's a sex. It's the same thing with the Valentine's Day heart. Right. The intersection is the vagina. Right. That's really where it comes from. Hold on, I could be. You're jogging my memory at bar time now. Something fish. What is it called? Just look up the fish the Christian Catholics use for peace. The ictus fish. Right? The ictus fish. It's just ictus fish. Read it wherever you see.
The ictus fish, or ictus, from the Greek ictus, AD coin Greek pronunciation, is a symbol consisting two intersections, intersecting arcs. The ends of the right side extending beyond the meeting point, as so to resemble the profile of a fish.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see it.
Hold on. I'm going to find it for you and post. I think Jeremy Hyman went through it a few years ago.
Okay, I got it.
But that ictus fish, it has something to do with some sexual symbol. Go ahead.
Come on. The symbol was adopted by early Christians as a secret symbol. It is now known optically as the sign of a fish, or the Jesus fish. Mm-hmm. And that was it. No, there's something that I'm gonna find out exactly where I had to look up for it. Go ahead.
Concert. A representation of a fish used in ancient times as a pagan fertility talisman, mm-hmm, or amulet, or as a Christian symbol for the Greek word ictus, interpreted as an acrostic in which the Greek letters are the initials of the word I.S.U.P.K.
Right. It was from that fertility goddess or fertility ritual, which I'm gonna find it exactly for you. From the breakdown, that's relating to the same spirit of the heart, right, that it represented the woman's private part. Right. I'm gonna find out exactly. But that ictus fish, I think that part is not Dagon, but the hat is Dagon. That hat is that ancient Greek god, not Greek, that ancient pagan god Dagon. All right. So that's it. It's not a mistake in it for and the angels don't have a dog face. I think it's the dragon, a lion, something else, eagle, and something else, and a man's face. That ain't, you see 4 faces you're not surviving the night. I'm trying to tell you. Right. All right, where we at with? So we're done with hell, right? Okay, so give me some examples of hell. Go ahead. Some scriptures, some precepts for hell.
Deuteronomy 32 and 22.
Let me hear you.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, mm-hmm, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, mm-hmm, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. All
right, and a fire, once again, read it again from the top.
For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase.
So the Christian going to tell you this. The Lord say a fire is burning in his anger and will consume until the lowest hell. Right? So how you could tell me hell is not under the ground? And then there's different levels of hell if it's burning to the lowest hell. There's a low hell, there's a lower hell, and there's a lowest hell. That's what the Christian's going to tell you, right? Then we have what? Give me another hell precept. Come on.
Okay, sir. This is Psalms 86, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For great is thy mercy towards me, and thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell.
They ain't gonna pull this one. They ain't even know this one. But this one is more supporting the actual breakdown of hell, because of course, how could he pull his soul from the lowest hell if he's still alive? Yeah, according to the Christian. Right? Give me one that would support what the Christian would say.
It's like the one I got, they don't support it. It's more like a cut.
I want what the Christian would pull for hell to prove it's fire. Like that one Bakwash pull, they could use that. I'll give you one for time's sake. Lazarus. Right? Lazarus being in hell lifted up his eyes and asked for some water. Right? They're going to say that too. Right? They're going to say all these things for hell. All right? Now, I'm going to give you with that the whole breakdown with hell. All right? Look up. Hold on, bear with me. Go ahead, please.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall he say also to them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, unto everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
Right. See? Prepare for the devil and his angels, brother. You're in a cult. You know, it says everlasting hell. You know what I mean? And you're going to be cast out there. All right? That's a good one. L-M-N-O-L-M-N. All right. Right. Somebody look up the Valley of Hinnom.
What's that? Look up what, sir?
The Valley of Hinnom.
Hinnom or Hinnom?
Hinnom. H-O-N-I-M. I might be spelling it wrong. Let me know if you find it. The Valley of Hinnom. Go ahead.
The Valley of Hinnom is an important topographical feature surrounding Hinnom.
Hinnom, Salaki. I know I was pronouncing it wrong. Hinnom. Right, go ahead.
The Valley of Hinnom is the important topographical feature surrounding historical Jerusalem from the west and the southwest. Its name in biblical Hebrew is Valley of the Stone of Hinnom, or Valley of the Children, Sons of Hinnom.
Okay.
Its Arabic name is Wadi Reba.
Whatever. Anything else on Hinnom?
It's a Gehenna, the Arabic name of a valley of Hinnom, or Gehenna.
No, so don't give me that. Give me the meaning, whatever they have for the meaning. All right, look up Hinnom in the Bible, in the scriptures. All right, go ahead.
I have in Jeremiah 7 and 32.
Let me hear that.
Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 32. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. For they shall bury in Tophet till there be no place.
Okay, so that giving you a hint of what Hinnom is. And damn, these candles falling apart. Who got the microphone on this candles, boy? That whole piece just fall. Go ahead.
Calvin Khan, verse 33.
No, give me another Hinnom. Spell Hinnom again.
Hinnom, sir.
All right.
I have some as well, sir.
Go ahead.
Jerusalem's Hinnom Valley also became the perpetual burning garbage dump and city sewer.
Mm-hmm.
Residents sometimes
So
call
it was a garbage dump, a perpetual dump,
Kawaka.
which is in every Israelite culture. There's a spot, it's around the bend,
Yep.
that don't nobody go,
Right.
that you can find refrigerators,
Concept.
old beds,
Right.
you know, flat screens, a few puppies,
Yep. Concept.
a cat in a bag somewhere. There's always a little area somewhere where Israel live that it's a dump. Everybody know that's it. Just drive by and throw it out the goddamn window.
Yep.
You get the point? If you're dumping a whole ton of shit, you go by at night and you pull all the furniture off the damn back of the truck. You throw that, slide that shit down the hill. So what's gonna happen to it, man? Who cares? Jump in the car quick and we gone. Right? It's a perpetual dumping place. What?
A perpetual burning garbage dump
Burning garbage dump. That's, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
and city sewer.
And city sewer, where all the refuge from the city is coming down. Right? Go ahead.
Kawaka. Residents sometimes called it the Valley of the Sewer or the Valley of the Pagans. By Jesus' time, the Greek translation.
Hold on. The valley of the sewer, the valley of the pagans. Why is it the valley of the pagans?
So like it says right here, Judah sacrificed their children to Baal in this valley. They got
Okay, a little bit more than that too. We'll get to it. But you're on to it. Right? So when they say pagans, is this who sacrificed their children?
it says Judah did, sir. With people.
Okay, so
people
Israel.
God.
Okay, so now this is a place, we're going to get to it more, but since you bring it up, this is a place where Israelites who were not part of the common society would live like in every Israelite land.
Right.
There's always a dump site that people who are not part of the regular society live. Mm-hmm. Today it's because of poverty.
Right.
Back then it was because of the law.
Right.
It was because of the law, something, or you, and since still the law, you don't want to obey the law, and you go live there.
Right.
Just think the man in the New Testament, the graveyard, who would cut himself.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he living?
The cemetery.
In the cemetery. That's where he would be. He would sleep in one of them tombs.
Yep.
And he, you know, you see him, he starts screaming and yelling and break the chains and run down on you.
Right.
Because he is not lawful. Meaning this. Whatever he was told to do at one time, he started refusing, and that was his end.
Right.
You get the point?
Okay.
That's how it happens in Israel. Somebody will tell you, brother, you're drinking too much. And before long, you are the side of the road, sleeping on the side of the road, angry with everybody.
Right.
But it starts with you're not listening. You're not listening. You're going and doing your own thing all the way.
Right.
That you listen to the demon more than you listen to counsel.
Okay.
And it just, you end up where you end up. You get the point?
Okay.
So now, there's always a place outside the city like that where the refuge from Israel would be.
Yep.
Right? And there would be some people who would make that their home. Just think like under a bridge.
Yeah. Okay.
Under a bridge, under any freeway, that's just think like that.
Okay.
All right. Also, Bible dictionary. There's a better one in the big Bible, the expansive one. Hinnom Valley, a dumping ground and a place of burning, southwest and south of Jerusalem. It's offered to Molech. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you have it? Oh, Most High in Christ. Go ahead. Let me hear what you have.
Sir. This is the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 354.
Mm-hmm.
Valley of Hinnom.
Mm-hmm.
Want me to drop down to
Give me what's putting up. Go ahead.
Come, sir. Where human sacrifice had been offered to Molech.
All right. Okay, they're outside it. They're not following Israel. Anything there about bodies?
Bodies.
Bodies being dumped.
Like you said, I don't see anything about bodies. I see where it says the valley of, they was called Valley of Slaughter.
The Valley of Slaughter, because of course there's so much slaughter is going to come to Israel. They're saying that's where they're going to bury all the slaughter. But it was also always in Israel. The cemeteries are outside of the city. It's not in the city.
Right.
That's how you keep this quarantine, keep the
Right.
city clean. In today's society, your cemetery is in the city, right? People live next to it. Your waterways is under it. That's not how Israel is. Just think, if Israel was in D.C., the cemetery would be Arlington.
Right.
It would be over the bridge. Where the Pentagon is outside the city, you had to go over the bridge and go there, and you bury it there, and you come on back. Right? Come on.
It's like when I was in Esau's military, we lived cemeteries right here. We lived right here.
Yeah, that ain't
right along. Whenever we did our fitness test, we're running right alongside the cemetery.
Ain't supposed to do that shit. That's supposed to be outside because it's dead things there, and people died of God knows what.
Right.
And stay in there, stay out there.
So like if I can remember, I believe like it was the Black Plague, where the Edomite Europeans was burying their dead right there,
and that's what was coming right back.
Holocaust.
That was coming right back to them.
Yep.
Right. So they would have that. Now, Hinnom. Look up Sheol in the New Testament. Go ahead.
I also have a little bit more on this, sir.
Please come on with it.
Come, sir. By Jesus' time, the Greek translation of Hinnom Valley, Gehenna, became a synonym for hell.
Thank you. Read that again.
Come.
You even got to read the Greek translation, but just to give me the whole that thing.
Come, sir. By Jesus' time, the Greek translation of Hinnom Valley, Gehenna, became a synonym for hell. Right?
By the time of Christ, the Greek translation for the Hinnom Valley became hell.
Right.
Right? That's what they started calling it.
Right.
Hell. Why? Because for Israel, before, where's the dump, where they say the pagans lived, those was our people who would go live there for whatever reason. When they get excommunicated from Israel, they turn your back on Israel, or you just jammed up and you leave in the Commonwealth. That happens.
Right.
You live in there, and when you go missing, hey, where's so-and-so? Or he's in Hinnom.
Right.
And everybody will be like, damn, that nigga, he's in Hinnom. So now, Hinnom is a physical place, and you can imagine the condition in Hinnom. Right? By the time the Greeks come along, Hinnom, what's this Hinnom? Oh, it's a bad place. You don't want to go there.
Right.
We carry the dead and stuff there. This nigga living there, that's hell for them.
Right.
You understand? So now that's where you would find in the Greeks, they start referring to it as hell.
Right.
Because of what their understanding is. In the spirit, it's the same thing with us. Because we say he's in Hinnom.
Right.
He's in hell. You get the point? But that's not the fiery place of Dante's Inferno.
Right.
You get the point, which came much later.
Right.
But they still had their understanding from Hades,
Right.
the underworld. A bad place.
Right.
You don't want to go there. But for us, it was a physical place where you would go to be in a low condition. You're in hell. You was bad out there. You can't come back. You don't get exiled. You outside.
Right.
Once again, just think living under a bridge.
Right.
Hey, where's Uncle so-and-so? Nah, that nigga in hell. What you mean? He living on the so-and-so bridge somewhere. You get the point? That's how we talk, right? Hinnom became synonymous with any bad place that you found yourself in. Like how we say, man, that nigga in hell. Yeah. Man, I'm in hell down here, man. Oh, that's slavery going on. Shit, I'm in hell. You could be on the 20th floor. You in hell because of how whatever you're going through.
Right.
That's how it get, twisted, right? But the Valley of Hinnom initially was a physical place of refuge, where they would put bodies, dead animals. There's people living there who make their home there. like you would find in any Israelite culture. Not so much in America, but Caribbean islands, the Hispanic countries, you would find a lot of those dumps where people literally live at. People literally live. Hold on 1 second. Shalom, so you got some shit, huh? I'm too watching because I'm country. I'm too watching. Oh, last I was just down. That's it.
What scripture were we at?
We weren't at scripture, but he Captain Shack told us to look up Sheol.
Anybody have a definition of Sheol?
Come on, sir.
Anybody know what it is before you read the definition?
Okay.
No?
Okay.
Go ahead, read.
Come on, sir. This is the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 784. Sheol. Hebrew, Sheol. The Old Testament name for the place of departure. The Old Testament name for the place of departed souls.
The place of who?
Oh, departed souls.
Departed souls. What are departed souls? Departed souls are what?
Dead bodies.
Dead bodies. You ever heard Christians say Christ went to hell and got the keys from out of hell when he died? What does that really mean when it says Christ when he got the keys? When the Christians say he went to hell and got the keys from hell? That's them misinterpreting when it says Christ was dead, we understand, and after 3 days he rose again. Because Christ was in hell. He was in Sheol. You understand? Sheol is synonymous with a grave, a tomb, or a pit. You understand? Where we put our dead. That's why we just read it's a place for departed souls. So when you hear Christians say, well, Jesus went to hell, he got the keys from Satan. Jesus went, for 3 days, he fought with the devil and got the keys, and he came back, and now we can, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. That's garbage. Christ didn't go down to some fiery place and then sparred with Satan, you understand? And that's just not what happened. That's Greek mythology. That's Egypt culture. You understand? Christ was dead for 3 days before he was resurrected. Of course, you can find that in the scripture. In our people, we've always called the grave, the tomb, hell. Now, of course, I know Captain Shack gonna go into it, but if you go read about the punishment that the Greeks did to our people and the Romans, what also was a pit? Meaning, let me see.
Not the Olympics, but the Roman games.
Not the games. Think of John in the island of Patmos. Think of Paul. Prison. Before, prison wasn't what you have today. Meaning prison at one point was just a big old pit where it was too deep, you couldn't get yourself up, and it was bars or whatever open. You understand? And that was the pit, Sheol. That's why today people say, if you in prison, brother, that's hell. Because it's the same thing. You understand? And that's Sheol, the place of the dearly departed, the cemetery. It's that tomb. No sweat, sir. The water, sir. No sweat.
He's not really get privy to this. He ain't go blind watching this notebook.
I didn't even look at it.
Privy to some precepts here.
I knew not to look at it.
You see the dates on this shit here, 2010. Yeah, man. That's the what? What do we have here?
Sheol, sir.
Sheol, please give me Sheol.
Come, sir. This is the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 784. Sheol, Hebrew, the Old Testament name for the place of departed souls.
Mm-hmm. That's it?
Sir. Corresponding to the New Testament word Hades.
Mm-hmm. So Sheol would be corresponding to the New Testament hell.
Right.
But hell is haunted.
Right.
So Sheol is what? What is Sheol?
Sheol will also be Hinnom.
Mm-hmm. Meaning what?
A very bad place to be. Like a place
in the spirit, how we talk. But the physical Sheol is a dumping ground.
Right.
Remember, Christ went into Sheol, which was what? The tomb.
Right.
You get the point?
Uh-huh.
So it's showing you the history of it and the difference with how we speak to how they speak. I'm looking for something else there for you too. Give me 2 Kings 23 and 8. It's breaking down that lunches like it's the Passover. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. So what's going on with that lamp?
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Come. 2 Kings chapter 23, verse 8. And he brought all the priests out of the cities of Judah and defiled the high places where the priests had burned incense, from Geba to Beersheba, and break down the high places of the gates that were in the entering of the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city, which were on a man's left hand at the gate of the city. Verse 9. Nevertheless, the priests of the high places came not up to the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, but they did eat of the unleavened bread among their brethren. Verse 10. And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the children of Hinnom, that no man might make his son or his daughter to pass through the fire of Molech. Verse 11. And he took away the horses that the kings of Judah had given to the sun at the entering of the house of the Lord by the chamber of Nathan-Melech, the chamberlain, which was in the suburbs, and burnt the chariots of the sun with fire. Verse 12. And the altars that were on the top.
What's happening here? Come on.
Some bad people defiled the area. It was trying to make sure that no parent was sacrificing their child to the fire of Molech.
So they did what to the altars?
Or they defiled, they broke it down, sir.
Right? Go ahead.
And they took the spoils of the land. They took the horses, so there wouldn't be any transportation.
Keep reading.
And destroyed their chariots.
Where you at? Verse 14?
I see the chariots is at the bottom of verse 11.
Verse 11. Keep going. Give me verse 12.
And come.
Keep going.
Verse 12. And the altars that were on the top of the upper chamber of Aphias, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars which Manasseh had made in the two courts of the house of the Lord, did the king beat down and break them down from thence, and cast the dust of them into the brook Kidron.
Bigs on the van there, if you don't mind. Watch yourself with the camera. Somebody pass it to me, if you don't mind. Keep reading now.
Come.
There's something specific Josiah did right here. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And the high places that were before Jerusalem, which were on the right hand of the mount of corruption, which Solomon, the king of Israel, had builded for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Zidonians,
Right.
and for Shemash, the abomination of the Moabites, and for Malcolm, the abomination of the children of Ammon, did the king defile. Verse 14. And he brake in pieces the images, and and cut down the groves and filled their places with the bones of men.
Right. So go ahead.
Okay, I remember I believe this is when he went and took the bones out of the sepulchres, because it was a tomb. That's what the Hinnom was. It was a graveyard. So that's why he took the bones out of there and burned them on top of the altars.
And why he burned them on top of the altar?
It's like disrespect.
But disrespecting for who?
Against their God.
Right. That's why they said the pagans was there. It's our people who was, again, living there.
Right.
And then, worshiping whatever.
Right.
But Hinnom was a graveyard. It was a distinct dump.
Yep.
And a place where that's not where we living. You get the point? I'm looking for the part where they said Josiah poured shit and something all over this place. It was rough. Because he went down there and got busy.
Yep.
Because they was down there doing something they had no business doing. You get the point? I can't find it right now. But that King Josiah did it. All right. I'm gonna keep looking for that precept. It's not here. All right. But this, once again, that Valley Hinnom, it was originally just think, not so much just a cemetery, but like a cemetery or a graveyard or a dumping ground, a wasteland. But it's, community there. You get the point? There's a community there. All right.
Stop.
It was like 2 Kings 23 and 8, right?
Constant.
I'm gonna see 8 one more time.
Verse 16 talks about, again, it goes a little bit into it. So
Let me hear it.
2 Kings chapter 23, verse 16. And as Josiah turned himself, he spied the sepulchres that were there in the mount, and sent and took the bones out of the sepulchres and burned them upon the altar and polluted it, according to the word of the Lord, which the man of God proclaimed, who proclaimed these words. Then he said, what title is that I see? And the men of the city told him, it is the sepulchre of the man of God, which came from Judah, and proclaimed these things that thou hast done against the altar of Bethel. And he said, let him alone. Let no man move his bones. So they let his bones alone, with the bones of the prophet that came out of Samaria. And all the houses also of the high places that were in the cities of Samaria, which the kings of Israel had made to provoke the Lord to anger, Josiah took away, and did to them according to all the acts that he had done in Bethel.
Right. So this part here is specifically him tearing up the altars, breaking down that stuff. I probably had it wrong precept. There's a part here that said Josiah went in there and poured shit and bodies everywhere. Just pull it out of everywhere. Right. Because he wanted to disrespect them. The point for this class is that hell, the whole concept of hell, of how we say, man, I'm in hell. How you doing, man? I'm in hell. It comes from the Valley of Hinnom, right? Whereas like people would go there who not with the rest of society. Right. And of course, out over there is something different. Right. You have the pagans doing whatever, but then you have other people who living there, who make it their home, just like being under a bridge. Gotcha. Come on.
It's like I was going to say, liken it to that scene in when Denzel Washington played that crooked cop, and he told the other cop, "Don't come in here without me." They don't even let other cops come in that little section of town. Training Day, where he was like, not even no other cops come in here.
Okay, I wouldn't say that's hell. I would say that's the kingdom of heaven. I would say the kingdom of heaven. Like, okay, I watched that movie so different because I think I was done in the truth when I saw it. Just coming in. But it's like, okay, to me, when he said that part, it's not like they don't let other cops in here. They don't let no white boys up in here. That was blacks and Hispanics was up in there, fine. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you don't come in here without me, meaning like, stay your white behind. Oh, that's what like happened to me. I don't know about, that ain't hell. Just think under a bridge where you see tents all over the place. Think these sanitary conditions.
Right.
Think, how people eat and rats and everything running.
Mm-hmm.
But now, it's you in hell down there. It's not the best place to be.
Right.
Just think like that. But the thing is, outside the city and there's more. You sleeping somewhere, trash coming over the bridge.
Right.
A truck pull up and just offload a dead dog. You know what I mean?
Constantly.
And that's just over time, and then the city just dump everything there.
Right.
You know what I mean? You talk to homeless people, they'll tell you all the secrets of the city. They'll tell you which ambulance coming and dumping all the needles and throwing away a ton of shit down there. Because of course, who the hell gonna tell? Who gonna believe a homeless person? ABC?
Right.
No, they ain't gonna believe it. Right? Go ahead.
It's like if I made sure Skid Row.
Split the room.
Concert.
Right? It's so part of our society. We have names for those places.
Right.
You get the point? Like actual names of societies in those places.
Right.
Now, for us, we know somebody there is that, damn, he jammed up, he in hell. But by the time of Christ, like they tell you, it became translated as Hades, which is hell for them.
Right.
But they listen to how we talk. All they could think about is this place where you're on fire.
Yep.
All they could think about is this, underworld where somebody's stabbing you with a fork.
Right.
You get the point? But that's not how we are.
Right.
You get the point? You could be in hell. You could be depressed.
Right.
You could be on the top of the world right now, but you're depressed. Kevin Hart, when that broad put the video out about it, remember? That nigga was in hell. That nigga went to, yo, I did something that was really bad.
Right.
And he had to go apologize to the whole. Them sodomites had him in hell. Go ahead.
It's like that was his friend. That was one of his boys that put that out.
What?
Concert. He has like everybody has like
Yeah, he has a call. Yeah, he has a crew.
One of the people that was in his group
Put
set
the
the
video
camera up and set the girl up for that.
Listen, I'm telling you, that new series he have, I'm looking at him a little bit different now.
Yeah.
That's just not a story you make up.
Nope.
There's something
I didn't see
you didn't see it.
Story, lies.
Go watch it out. I thought the story was about the girls who set him up, but the story is about the friend who set him up.
But
Go watch it though, but it has some serious, some shit that's like, you're not gonna make this shit up. Some people died up in that shit. And then he ended up with an interview with Don Lemon talking about y'all don't know what I did to stay on top and what I did to stay here and reach here and how hard it was. That's why the name of the shit is True Story. I'm like, okay, he lying, but then I watch it more. It's like, if that ain't his story, that's somebody in Hollywood story. That's some old weird have too much money for your own good bullshit.
Yep.
You get the point? But anyway, that's where it comes from. The Valley of Hinnom is where hell, how we talk about it, how the oppressor reviews it. And then later on, Dante's Inferno kind of sealed the whole thing for the Catholic Church.
Right.
You get the point? That's where it comes from. But it's really that Valley of Hinnom. Go ahead.
It's like, so if I may, can you break down the lake of fire? Because Christians always use that too.
Let me get that too. Pull Revelation.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 15. So like verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second death. And whosoever was like, not that one, that proves it's not, but verse 15.
Go ahead.
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Okay. Say what you got again. So
Revelations 20 and 15, sir.
Mm-hmm.
God.
All right.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 15. And
give me 14. Start at 14.
God, sir. Revelation chapter 20, verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second death.
Mm-hmm. So what is that verse talking about? Start there. Go ahead.
This was the future prophecy that's coming, like near Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically saying that the dead is like the people that don't follow law, statutes, commandments. They're going to be judged on this day. They're going to be, and the people that's in the hell, the condition, they're gonna be judged in this fire, which is a nuclear war.
You answered it. I would say so. Anybody else? You try it? Go ahead.
So like I said, this is describing the condition that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans live in, the way that we die and our conditions is going to be destroyed along when America is destroyed.
Yeah.
When society is destroyed.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Like everything, because you had just to kind of clear up what you were saying, right? Because the death we experience is not, you go hunting and I'll be a kill you.
Right.
That's like, circumstantial. You know what I mean? The death we experience is very much by design.
Right.
It's very much by, it's like big pharma companies making medicine that give you side effects, then make a medicine for the side effect.
Right.
You get the point? It's like all the death we experience is very much by design, in addition to our disobedience to the Lord.
Right.
Right? Our disobedience to the Lord, the death we experience is a judgment of our disobedience. But the judgment is by design. It's not, damn, how the hell did that happen?
Right.
It was designed for that to happen like that.
Right.
Right? As I was bringing out, the system ain't broken, it works fine.
Right.
It was designed for that.
Right.
So now, with this second death, what's the second death?
Christ coming back and killing anybody that opposed his authority and any of our people of Israel who didn't they didn't kill their old man.
That's it. That's the thermonuclear war.
Right.
Right. Fire.
Right.
Right. Brimstone. It's Terminator 2.
Yep.
We brought a hole on the fence and just turn into damn skeletons. That's that. It says it in what? Amos? Your eyes gonna burn out your sockets and your tongue gonna burn out of your mouth.
Right.
That's thermonuclear fire. That ain't, set you on fire. That ain't getting electrocuted fire. That's something your eyes melting out of your head.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a different type of heat. You get the point? Now, that's part of the second death.
Right.
And the death and hell we experience is going to die with that too. That's why we should what? Pray for that second death.
Right.
Because when you pray for that second death, the oppression, that death and hell here, you could solidify it as oppression.
Right.
That's God.
God.
That's gone with that, because those who that second death has an effect on are oppressing us.
Right.
You get the point? Both high and low, they're oppressing us. You get the point?
Right.
Give me verse 15.
Oh God. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Right. And whosoever was not written in the book of life, who did not kill the old man,
right,
who did not take part in the first death,
right,
they're going to be in that second death, which is going to be a lake of fire. Meaning what? Christ is going to bring judgment on this earth so much that America is going to look like a big lava pit.
Oh God.
That's the lake of fire is going to be right here in America.
Right.
It's going to be a lake of fire. Right? That's how he's going to, that's how he's going to do it. You understand? Of course, figure of speech. But just think, Paradise, California, where there was fire on either side. They brought her in the car, the car moving.
Right.
And she sat down, scared on the front seat, scared out her mind. Daddy, please drive faster. I need us on a track. I need us on a track, but Daddy, please drive faster. Please, Daddy, please drive faster. Please, Daddy, please drive faster.
Remix.
Right. You know what I mean? That's glorious. That's a glorious thing. And paradise was down near a lake of fire. And you look at it from on top.
Yeah.
I found a picture recently in the computer on the phone, brother, that was so cold where they're showing you the traffic line leaving out, and it's like lava smoke, the ash engulfing over the top, but it's not lava, it's not volcano ash, it's the ash from it's the fire, the smoke from the fire. It's just engulfing over. See your fire because that. It's a cold picture from paradise, right? So that's what the lake of fire will be. About that time, ain't no sweat. Anybody can take him? You can take him?
I have to get to work.
No sweat. Time for you to roll too. And there's not a change of schedules, to be honest with you. I was just about to say now, let him go. That's just true experience. I don't like to, you know. The engine belongs in the front of the car, nigga. I don't know what Tesla is thinking. No Porsche. That's just me. You know what I mean?
Right.
You like to feel like someone pushing you from behind. No, nigga, I control that shit. I like to change up schedules too much. You know what I mean? Just because that's how people, you know, function.
Right.
A routine and stuff like that.
Cool.
All right. To water, to argue. All right. So that's it. That lake of fire in Revelation is talking about a physical place, right? But it's going to be right here on earth, just like how Christ, the Lord turned paradise into a lake of fire. Right. Just like he turned what else in history was turned into a lake of fire?
Sloppy. Pompeii.
Pompeii.
Yeah. That's right.
It's a lake of fire. Till this day, they find people kissing.
Yeah.
They find all kind of skeletons doing all kind of lewd acts.
Right. Lord.
You know what I mean?
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Bro.
Shadow.
Yeah, I mean,
Concert.
get that, you know what I mean? Get that photographic effect. There was some other documentary I was watching where they dropped a bomb somewhere off the coast, I think Australia, and they told the soldiers it was seamen.
Yeah.
They told them sit on the bow of the boat but pour on these glasses.
Yup.
Oh no, they told them hide their eyes. And they didn't tell them it was a nuclear blast.
Yup.
And some of them was saying they covered their eyes and they could see their skeletons and the veins through the fingers because the blast was so bright.
Right.
And some fool looked up and that was, you know, his eyes was gone. They were saying they were seeing all through their skin.
Yep.
Or down to the bone. It was like, they said they couldn't even believe it. And they didn't know what it was. And there was some test they was doing. They put them all in the front of the boat and just tell them, you know, when they see the blast, cover their eyes, do like this.
Right.
And it was a huge thing. It was some Americans, some off the coast of Australia, I think, where they did it to them. And they didn't know what it was. Go ahead.
How can we forget Sodom and Gomorrah?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
Not a lake of fire.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're going to make the cross say, the cross trying to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sodom and Gomorrah, another lake of fire. The Dead Sea. You know the Dead Sea over there in the Middle East, right? In the eastern side of the world.
Okay.
That Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea. Why? Go ahead.
Because
trying to find it. Hold on.
all the salt that's in the sea from the fire.
That's one of it. Oh, this is another one where it's regular traffic. I don't know if I could find it. If I find it on my phone, so that's so much shit in it, I didn't even think I could send it properly. Yeah, go ahead with the salt.
I was just going to say it's from so much salt from, I believe it was from the Sodom and Gomorrah, that the brimstone, well, the salt from
the fire.
The fire, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Went into that body of water, right? And the salt made it so dense that things couldn't grow, light is not getting through the bottom. But anybody know what the scientists say about the salt? Go ahead, because
I believe they were saying it's so full of sulfur that's in there, and that's why nothing grows in there because of the sulfur content.
The sulfur content, and that's what gives the Dead Sea its density.
Density concept.
Right, you could float a ton in there,
right?
But something else about the sulfur. What do they say about it?
Oh, okay. I seen a documentary. I don't know if this is true. They said the origin wasn't. Okay, they keep saying the origin. They can't find anywhere on the earth the origin of this sulfur.
What they said was, in addition to that, was this level of sulfur only comes from intense volcanic activity. There ain't no volcanoes around.
Right.
You know what I mean? So in addition to what you're saying,
right,
that there's no volcanoes around, but this level of sulfur usually comes, they see it in places where there's active, strong volcanoes. Right. But there's no volcanoes around there. You understand? Like there had to be intense volcanic activity. Right. And volcanic activity is centered around the volcano on the side or something. Right. This Sodom and Gomorrah is a big area. It was a big, huge city. right? Big, territory, and it was done.
Right.
That's a lake of fire as well. Go ahead.
So, like, I was just thinking, I think Christians probably believe the volcano would be the lake of fire, just because how it looked.
They think the lake of fire is hell under the earth.
Right.
Go ahead, please.
So if I made two, it's on subject but off subject. It was a documentary as well. These Israelite colleges, college students, they was it was like a lake on top of a mountain, but the water was like some type of volcano-ish chemicals, and if you put your hand in it, your hand will melt. And they say don't go past it, and he slipped in.
It's that's sulfur. Sulfur will do that to you, I believe. If it's hot enough.
He slipped
or it's
in.
too much sulfur.
Yeah, he just was puddle. He just melted to death.
I think if it's too much of that sulfur.
Also, too, sir, I wanted to ask, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there a scripture in this?
You found it? I ain't seen nothing up there.
That is coming up right now.
Okay,
sir. That speaks about this place burning for 1,000 years, and it won't be it won't be inhabited for 1,000 years.
Inhabitable for 1,000 years, I believe so. It's supposed to be right around here. Hold on 1 second.
Come, sir.
Not this one either.
Okay, come.
Bro, listen, I had to find that. I had to find that shit. Oh boy. Hold up. I'm trying to remember where I've seen it. I've seen it recently.
Right.
All right. Just go to where he talked about the lake of fire again. Pull up another lake of fire scripture. All right?
Come, God.
If not, I'm going to drop this down picture. But I've seen it recently.
Come, God.
And I can't remember where. I thought it was just in my phone, but I don't think so.
Right. Revelations 21:8.
Okay, let me hear.
Come. Revelations chapter 21, verse 8. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all the liars shall have their part in the lake of which burning with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Okay. And you was asking what again? If it says this place will be uninhabitable for 1,000 years. Okay, I don't think it does say specifically that. But remember, after this is where he takes us. We're going to be taken up before this.
Right.
And after this, we're going to be set down in the wilderness because this side is going to be destroyed. I believe that's where this is. It doesn't. I don't think it say how long for.
Okay, come.
All right. I don't think it say how long for.
Come.
And also, I think originally that's how it was supposed to be, where this would be the side where certain animals would be. If you notice any kind of dinosaur bone, quote unquote dinosaur bone they would find, is never really in the East.
Right.
It's always in the Americas. I don't know if you ever check it.
Yeah,
it's always usually around in the Americas, especially South.
Yep.
Argentina, or them islands. They find huge ass bones because from the breakdown I remember, people were on that side of the earth. That's civilization. Right? Coming west was more new and revolutionary, even though there was historical proof of voyages since the days of Egypt.
Right.
But not saying that we were actually, like people fully living and established.
Yeah.
You understand? That's why this was called the New World.
Right.
You understand? That's why the Bible describes Arsareth, which is America, as a place which no man dwelt.
Right.
You get the point? Because this was a place where man wasn't to dwell.
Right.
This was that place where them other creatures was.
Right.
You get the point? I believe so. All right. I can't think now where it says specifically uninhabitable.
Okay.
Not to my memory. All right.
So to back up what you're saying, to prove what you're saying, like you said, this place was like for unknown creatures to dwell. That's how the white man always coming up with new discoveries, because this place was like full of like stuff that men never seen before. Like, you know, they have a new fish they find all of a sudden, a new type of bug, spider. They always discover new stuff.
Well, also too with that, right? The oppressor, like how you say he comes up with new discoveries, is not necessarily saying he's finding new things.
Okay.
What it is, his concept of life is limited, right? Very limited. He doesn't understand certain things. You let him tell it. He'll tell you the world is 689 trillion billion years old, and then come out later and find out that carbon dating was false. Like you could alter carbon dating by heat.
Right.
Like you could burn something, and then the carbon machine would read it like it was 10,000 years old when you just bought this yesterday.
Right.
Right. And that's what they would use to give you an approximate age of, life on the earth, right? That's not accurate at all. Dinosaurs, as they were teaching in school, the dinosaurs you grew up learning about is not the dinosaurs your children is learning about today. Right? The dinosaurs your kids learning about today look like big ass parrots,
right, with
feathers and colors and all type of shit. The dinosaurs I remember was lizards,
right?
With like a big iguana, right? The dinosaurs they learning about today got feathers and shit and colorful and shit, right? He does something called interpolation, right? Where they take I think they found one actual full skeleton of something ever. You could check it out and correct me if I'm wrong. But for the dinosaurs you would see, they usually find a bone or two bones, like a thigh bone or a femur or a claw. And they would say for an animal to have a claw this size, its head got to be this big. And its chest got to be this big, or the heart to pump blood to this. And they do something called interpolation, and they create a structure to match one bone or two bones. They haven't found a full fossil, right? I believe it was one thing that was like a whale. It was something that they could think could be alive today. Right. I think it was a whale somewhere, I think Scotland, somewhere washed up on a shore, not on a shore, but it's inland, still close to the water, where it was like a fossilized skeleton of what they think was a sea creature, which could just be a whale, a huge whale from way back when. But the dinosaurs you see in the museum, that Tyrannosaurus Rex, they ain't find a whole skeleton of that shit.
Right.
They found pieces, and they say, well, this look like a thigh bone based on what they have as thigh bones from other animals and man today. Right. And they say, okay, it look like it could come from this type of species and this family and this. I forget the whole breakdown of the species, the gene something, and the how they break it down. Yep. But they interpolate over what this thing, it had to be this big. Right. Go ahead.
For lack of better words, white man's the devil.
It's still out. He absolutely right. He's absolutely right. You get the point? So that's it. Yeah, I can't find that picture, but it's a good picture. It's a good picture of what paradise was during that time. If I could find it, bro, I would definitely send it to you so you could put it up there. It's a good picture. I mean, ton of smoke, just regular. It's like how those pictures look violent. This does not look violent. This looks like it's somebody did a Photoshop almost of people leaving on a vacation, and then above it is just hell. I don't know where the hell it at. Okay, I think this is it here, boy. I'm gonna try to. I don't think it's gonna go through for you. Okay, I sent it to you because the best way I could. It doesn't even look real. In the meantime, I think there was a few questions in the chat. Let me grab those, all right? anybody else could read the questions out. Some brother had something from on the YouTube. I believe there was. I think he typed it in very, very early. We'll get those real quick and then we're done. You see that?
Yeah, I see it now, sir. Matthew Brandon says, Salaki, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question on 1 Maccabees 2 and 24. Was Mattathias righteous for slaying the Jew?
You trying to trick me? I see what's going on. You trying to get me to say yes, he was righteous, so that the boy them could come get me and say it's righteous. Who you working with?
Yeah, right.
Bro, who you with? You with the police?
The FBI.
You the FBI? Huh? Bro, how in the bro? Who you working with? Okay. Was Mattathias right for slaying the traitor? That's all I want to call it. The traitor. See if I can put this in without getting bullied. Motherfucker. Was Mattathias right for slaying the traitor? Go ahead.
In the Lord's eyes.
If he was right in the Lord's eyes, why he run? What's missing? That spoon.
So you took the picture of the messenger?
Oh no. I sent it to you. I think it's your WhatsApp.
Oh, no sweat, sir.
All right. Why if he was right, why did he run? Huh? Was Moses right for slaying the Egyptian?
No.
Was Mattathias right for slaying the brother?
No.
Was he wrong?
Nah.
Was Moses wrong?
Nah.
But I thought he just said he wasn't right.
So like, cause what I was gonna say was because just like today, I'm gonna use General Yahanna for example.
Mm-hmm.
How he's leading the people. We have stubborn Israelite be like, who do he think he is? He's not our leader. Like, you know, like
so it's okay for Commander Yahanna to go kill all the Israelites?
no, when Christ come back, we know when Christ come back, he's going.
But Christ wasn't there with Mattathias though.
But during this time, this is when he has set like kingdoms to govern us.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our people, you know, they wasn't with it. They were still following the other customs of the heathens.
Well,
So,
that's what's going on today too, though. Our people is following the customs of the heathens. So is it right to go kill people today?
Lie.
So then was Mattathias right?
That is a true question.
Give me oh shit! I thought I was doing something. Give me where the Lord said, "I would rather have obedience than sacrifice." Right? Right? Give me that.
Couple comments, sir. This is the book of 1 Samuel 15 and 22. And Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
Right? The Lord would have rather that fool, that traitor, not go up to eat that pork.
Right.
The Lord would have rather that traitor not go forward to eat the pork. You was able to pull the picture?
Lie, sir.
I had to download it and send it to you. Message on my phone jamming up. I can't send nothing.
Yeah, cuz I gotta log out your Facebook.
No, you ain't have to do that. Send it to the Facebook that's there.
Which one is it?
Okay, there's none logged in already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I gotta
Just look for the name. The name should be on the profile right there. Israel something. Right? That traitor, right? That traitor went to eat the pork. The Lord would have rather he not go to eat the pork. Right? Should have Mattathias have killed him? That's my question. Was he right for killing him? He should not have killed him. But he did it. And the Lord was pleased with his zeal. Right? The Lord was pleased with his zeal. Why? Because it says what? What does it say there in Maccabees?
Oh, sorry, Maccabees. It was first Maccabees.
You don't need some help to find where it is?
It's Maccabees 2:24, sir.
No sweat. Give me that.
Come. First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 24.
Now skip up to 24. You're right.
Come. Verse 24. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to shew his anger according to the judgment. Wherefore the rein and slew him upon the altar. Verse 25. Also the king commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time. And the altar he pulled down. Verse 26.
So he killed the king's commissioner and the traitor who went up. Right? Kill everybody. Right? Go ahead.
And the altar he pulled down.
All right. He pulled down the altar. Go ahead.
Verse 26. Thus dealt he zealous for the law of God.
Right? Thus dealt he zealous for the law of God. What does that mean?
So like he was focused. He had a set mind on the law, statutes, and commandments.
Thus dealt he zealous for the law of God.
He was pissed off about
You
what
had to be pissed off. He was, but you don't have to be pissed off to be zealous for the law of God.
He did this out of the zeal that he had for
The law. What is the law?
Thou shalt not eat swine.
That ain't the law. Not this law.
Oh, come okay.
Oh, I forgot what's going on right here, but isn't it the punishment was death?
What is the law?
I can't
So
remember what's going on.
eye for eye, life for life.
How was it eye for eye and life for life? Did the dude try to kill Mattathias?
Nah, but he killed him.
So how is Mattathias being lawful? How is he being zealous for the law?
To keep wickedness out of.
That's true. He's being zealous for the law with, of course, the pork and
making no covenants with other nations.
with something else. If anybody entice you to serve another god,
Right.
what are you supposed to do?
They put him to death.
Put them to death. You bring them out, and you had to cast the first stone. He's zealous of the law. He pushing for the law. Now, in this situation here, he should not have killed him, and that's why it was time to roll. Because if it was right to kill him, he didn't have to leave. You understand?
Right.
Similar to Moses. Now, this is what, in my limited experience in the truth, right, my little time in the truth, what I have found. People ask this question. I'm not saying this brother is asking this question for that reason. But people usually ask this question about Moses. Moses got busy. And we need to get busy. Y'all punks, man. Y'all talk all this talk. Time for damn talk. People say all this shit because they want to do some sort of violent act against who they think is an oppressor or who they think is a traitor. What they fail to realize is if Mattathias was around today, he'd be killing them. You understand?
Right.
He'd be killing that person.
Right.
That person, in my experience, brothers who are in camp, who rock, who roll, very rarely ask to put Israelites to death. I mean, it had to be some kind of like, this nigga violated me so much. This ain't biblical. Right. This is personal. But usually when a brother comes with a question of, so was he right for doing this? And usually the root of that question is coming from somebody who wants to, be an executioner in Israel to Israel, but would never kill their old man. You understand? They will never kill that old man. Right. They will never do what Mattathias did to that traitor, to their old man. Right. You get the point? But I've never really seen a brother who is on the front line trying to do what with people's lives?
Kill them.
Trying to save lives. That's what we do at camp. We trying to save lives at camp. Ask about whether it's lawful or not to take a life. Right. In this context. You understand? It's not, we ain't talking about self-defense. We ain't talking about you come home and find somebody ready to kill your family. Right. We're talking about, was Mattathias right for putting this dude to death? He should not have done it, but the Lord saw it fit. Now you go do it, the Lord might see it fit that you spend the rest of your life in a 6x9. You get it going? Go ahead.
It's like, and I would have to say, this what you're saying is heavy is because what separates us is that we actually love our people versus the Christian church who hates their people.
Who can't wait to see us dead.
Damn right, sir.
Point? Can't wait to see us dead. Go ahead.
I was going to make a point, like, for today. Let's say, for example, I'm zealous in the law, and I'm just making a point, not saying what happened. Like, a brother committed adultery. I'm so pissed, I kill him. I know I'm wrong. I'm in America, and I got to flee. But at the same time, the Lord see that I did something perfect, but I'm not supposed to kill him because I got to follow him.
No, that ain't nothing perfect. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, if the unbelieving departs, finish it. Let them depart. Right. That's in the Bible. Right. She committed adultery on you. That's her departing. She's left. Right. You now going to commit murder. That's something else. Right. You get the point? Now, you come home and in self-defense, you take a life. That's self-defense. The Lord might be with you in it. Or you might go out and sit in a box. But at least you ain't got to go to therapy for watching somebody kill your loved one. Right. That's different. Right. Where you just, a walking shell. You did what you did, and you might have to go sit in the box. What you going to do? You get the point? Right. But by no means is the Lord, he's going to justify you breaking his law. You get the point? By no means is he going to justify you breaking his law. You understand? And the Lord will choose who he wants to choose. Right. He honored Mattathias, what Mattathias did. Right? He saw what Moses did and realized he could use Moses. He saw what Phineas did to Zambri. You get the point? Right. He saw what Joshua did to the fool who kept the Babylonish garment. Right. You get the point? He saw that and he was pleased with that thing. Right. You get the point? Now, of course, there's different contexts with each one, where with Joshua and them, they were the rulers at the time, right? We were in captivity. Moses committed sin in Egypt, meaning he committed a crime in Egypt. Right. Mattathias was in his own land, but he's under occupation. Right. You get the point? Right. So it's not so much murder, but in that case, it's an act of war. Right. You kill an emissary, you kill a messenger from the king. Oh no, you ought to get put to death, because what happens if I let you live?
Keep doing it.
Not only that, people are gonna think it's okay to murder the messengers. Right. You get the point? Because people think it's gonna be okay to do it, right. And that's we can't do that. Right. You get the point? Right. So now he had a role. Now the bigger question here is, you don't have to do what Mattathias did. You just had to kill your old man. Could you do that? Could you do that? It ain't so easy to do that though, but it's easy to kill, Man, I'll put these niggas to death. They this, they that, they the other. How about you put the nigga you're waking up and watching in the mirror every morning to death?
Right.
How about you put him to death and become brand new and come up in here and learn and become a whole totally new creature that could go on that street corner and save lives?
That's right.
And not wonder whether Mattathias was right or wrong in that scenario. You get the point? That's something that I ain't never had to worry about. Mattathias did what he did and told everybody, come follow him.
Right.
The Lord honored that shit. Now, does that mean I had to go do what Mattathias did? No. What does that mean? I have to go find the man who the Lord put in charge.
Right.
You get the point? That's what you really want to go after. All right?
Right.
Anybody else? Anything else?
Yeah. So like I said, the same brother asks, what does forgiveness consist of?
Forgiveness to me, what precept I want? Matthew 5.
5:18.
To your cheek, I for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
Go to him and he
He ain't asking about how to get it. He asking what is forgive. Okay.
Forgive me 70 times 7.
I'll take that one.
Constant.
Matthew 18 and 15. And give me Matthew 5. 5 and what? 25, 28. Turn the other cheek, resist evil.
Constant.
In Matthew 18 and 15 first. I'll take that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. And Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. That disciple was known unto the high priest, and went in with Jesus into the palace of the high priest. Verse 16. But Peter stood at the door without.
Matthew 1.
Oh, Salaki, it didn't go to Matthew's. So,
It was there about them phones, man.
Kind of.
The phone do what it wants.
Yeah, kind
He's like, oh shit, this didn't go to Matthew. What book did it go to?
I was in John, Salaki.
Yeah, shit.
18 and 15.
Come on.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Mm-hmm.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
Right? So now, if a brother offend you, you go to him and him alone. You tell him your fault. Right? If he hears thee, thou hast gained thy brother. What does hear thee mean?
So I just listen to what you got to say. Or
Think Israel.
kind of like, or if he forgives you. Because hearing is like, okay, kind of.
If I say you feel me, does that mean you're touching me?
Nah.
What does that mean?
Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Right? I'm not just understanding, but
Apologize.
before that,
You recognize it, but
you agree. You agree with what he's saying. You get the point?
Right.
You go to him and he agree, right? And in agreeing, he is going to say Salakia. And then, now if he does, if he hears you, that means he hears you. You've gained your brother. Now, if he did not hear you, which can happen, you go to our brother and be like, what? Nah, what are you talking about? Right? He didn't hear you. Go ahead.
It's like he gave a specific. He says, "It's like if someone killed my brother, and I know we're supposed to forgive other brothers, but I'm wondering how."
Do you have to wonder? Derek Chauvin killed Michael Brown. Are you struggling going to work for the white man? Are you waking up suicidal because you have to go to work for the white man? Right? Are you withdrawing yourself from America? Are you feeling, what makes it different? How is it different? Right. You get the point? How is it different? I understand what you're saying, but in the same scenario, you know what I mean? You guys checking it out?
Yeah, that's
No sweat. Speak up that wall. Keep two eyes up. You could keep it open. Stand in the front right there, and just keep an eye on them. You just go double check the street. All right. Okay. A brother killed your brother. This is the same. This is damn near. This is the same thing. It would be the same scenario anyway. All right. It would be the same scenario. However, that brother who killed your brother is nothing in truth in the world. You got to forgive him just like somebody forgiving you for doing some dumb shit that we are not knowing about, right? You think hard enough, there's some dumb heinous shit you done did to somebody somewhere at some point, some part that you think no one knows about. You get the point that you think it's forgiven and forgotten, and you don't know what somebody wants to do to you. This brother here, you gotta let that go. That one is something you gotta let that go. You get the point? He in the world, your brother was in the world. The Lord killed your brother. Salaki. The Lord killed your brother. You gotta let that shit go. That's why we'll go to the resist evil part. All right? Come on.
Salaki, sir. Just elaborate on that too. It would be wise for you to forgive your brother because you would want the Lord to forgive you on a way bigger scale of a matter.
That's it. That's the point I'm definitely making. Like, whatever happened in the world. Your brother, you know, he's a grown man. He made his decisions. That fool made his decisions, and your brother ended up dead. That ain't got nothing to do with you and your life, though. Right. That ain't got nothing to do with you and your life. That's a different thing. But of course, okay, I don't want to come across too blunt and too insensitive. It's different. It's definitely different where, okay, in the truth, for myself, my brothers are the men in here. Yeah. I have family members, blood family members, and I pray their safety. Pray the Lord keeps them safe. Right. However, I understand their lifestyle outside of the truth. I understand what they're into and what they're not into and what they could be into. And if I get an unfortunate call a day about something, then, you know, he made his choice. She made her choice. And that's that. Right. You get the point? You know, your brother made his choice. I'm not saying he deserved to die. That's not my call. That's the Lord's call. However, if it is now that, you know, there's somebody that, you know, killed your brother, right, you're going to have to let that one go until the Lord comes. You get the point? You're going to have to let that one go. Right. You're not going to be able to really get justice for what happened to your brother. No, give me the eye for the eye and 2 for the 2.
Come on, sir. Matthew chapter 5, verse 38. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also.
What does that mean? Go ahead. Who knows?
It's like, so this is saying, okay, it's saying that you've heard it before, and eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Again, this is done, then this happens back. And Christ is saying,
well, you wanted me to send this picture to you or something again?
No, it's like that. I said that before. I thought I was on that profile.
Oh shit! No. I think that one's supposed to be open. I think there's one.
I already got it waiting to show it, sir.
Okay, no sweat.
Sir. Is it saying Christ is coming to increase the law, and he's saying that, you know, you resist not evil, meaning you don't want to forgive your brother. It's like, okay, Christ is saying, my brother hit you in the cheek, forgive him and give him a chance to not do it again. Mm-hmm. That's what he's saying. And it's like, okay, Christ is bringing the spirit of the law, of the law. And Christ is coming to bring the spirit of the law. And that's something that we didn't understand. And what was happening was Israel turned into tit for tat. I mean, like,
that's what will happen, right? You finding it hard to forgive him would mean you want to harm him. Right. And then as you harm him, somebody who loves him, like you love your brother, is going to harm you. Right. And then somebody who loves you is going to harm them. And then somebody who loves them is going to harm you. And you are not resisting evil by it. Right. You're not resisting evil. What is the whole process of turning the other cheek? Break it down for me in real life terms. What is the whole process of that? How does that go?
I'm seeking our word like today's term. Like turn the other cheek to me sound like in today's term, like it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? No. That's not
turning the other cheek.
And would you first have to? Some situations may call when you're not able to speak to the person that offended you. But if you are able to speak to him, you would go to he and thee alone and express your offense. And then if he hear you, then you give him a chance now to not do that offense again.
That's in a nutshell. This situation here is difficult to do it.
Right.
You might be able to talk to that guy at all.
Right.
Right? For brothers in here, I've seen it done where it's, we could F you up.
Yeah, God.
And then the person realize how far this could go and say, my bad, so and so and so. Don't do that again. And that's that. You get the point? Don't do that again, and that's that.
Right.
So now they know what could have happened, but I'm not going to do it. Just don't do that again.
Right.
And no, that is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not, man, I let that go. My heart is at peace. Fuck all that bullshit. Yeah. This is forgiveness. I'm not going to harm you. Don't do that again. Right. And you then act like it never happened.
Sir.
That's forgiveness.
Right.
And of course, you acting like it never happened doesn't mean you and this dude know how to be, chum.
Right.
You don't have to do that. You could forgive somebody and go separate ways. That's also fine.
Right. Forgiveness
is you not seeking revenge.
Right.
That's forgiveness.
Right.
You not seeking revenge.
Right.
You done, it's finished. That's it. It's done. You went to the person, there's a certain amount of confrontation going on. When I say confrontation, not back and forth, but you come to them about the ought. Right? You let them know what they did. They say, Salakia, no problem. Don't do that no more.
Right. And
that's that. That's how the forgiveness would go. Now, in your situation with your brother, okay, this thing is so, the Lord is such a gangster, you could have gotten your brother killed. You understand? Like, the Lord could have been so pissed off with you, he decided to hurt you because he know how much you love your brother. Meanwhile, you're not looking at yourself. You're looking at the man who the Lord did the work through. You understand? And the Lord killed him. You probably might want to look at yourself too and see if you live in a life that would make the Lord say, I want to kill this nigga here, but this brother here serves me so well, it's going to crush him. Just break his legs. Just go down there and be in a car accident, break his legs. Don't kill him. Because this brother here, he goes to camp, he teaches. This sister here, she pays her tithes. She's faithful, she's genuine. Don't harm her people. They get a pass for her sake. Right. It's like juice, like how we're talking, in our community. Okay. You got a little juice, you got a little, you got some power, you got favor. Don't touch so-and-so, that's so-and-so people. You know what I mean? They ain't got no power, but their name rings out. It's like that. You get the point? Remember, the scriptures say, through one spouse, paraphrasing, the marriage could be sanctified and the children blessed because of that one person who's in the truth. And the same goes with your brothers and your sisters and your father and your mother. The Lord can have mercy on them for your sake. Right. Now, if your siblings and them dying and you alive, you might ask yourself what you doing. What you really doing about it. You talking about forgiving the brother. Nigga, I would run up in the truth before I lose another one. Right. You understand? All my carnal family members are in the world. Right. All of them in the world. And I talk to them nearly every other day. And I hear how rough things are and who's suffering and who had to be rushed to the hospital. And I'm just like, thank the Lord for the little mercy they are getting. Right. And I know what I have to do to ensure that mercy. I know the minute I decide to not do something, it's going to be a horrible. No, does that mean I expect them to live forever? Hell no. They're going to die sometime. Right. But I do know they ain't got to get slain and, go through some ridiculous nonsense. The Lord might look out, or he might just say, no time for them to go, this life is over any goddamn way. Go build a kingdom for the future. Right. The point is, he died, Lord be with him. Whatever. You get the point? Right. Whatever. Right? Give me who are my brother and father again. Give me that last one and then we're done. Unless there's more. Who is my brother and who is my father? Right? Give me that last part.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without.
Right? This is Christ. Christ doing the work of the Lord, teaching. And then his mother and his brothers stood outside of the crowd. Go ahead.
Desiring to speak with him.
And they want to speak to him. Go ahead.
Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without.
Right? This is Christ's physical mother and brothers. You get the point? This is his blood relatives outside. And somebody came and told him they're out there. Right. Go ahead.
Desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren?
Right? That's what I want to ask you. Who is your mother and who is your brethren? Right. Are you joined to the world or are you joined to Christ? Because that brother who died, he definitely wasn't in here. And again, by no means am I trying to be insensitive and say brother deserved to die. He ain't deserve to die how he died. He ain't deserve to die no more than our oppressor.
Right.
You understand? He ain't deserve to, but the Lord saw it fit that it went down that way. And what I want to ask you is, who is your mother? Who is your brother? I know who mine is. Get the point? I have physical family. They contact me. But brother, I'm preoccupied with the brothers who show up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm preoccupied with the brothers who done, lay down their life for our King.
Right.
That's who I'm preoccupied with their problems. Do I listen to family members' problems? Yes. Do I give them answers when they ask me? Yes. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. If they don't follow it, if they do follow it,
right.
Camp on Saturday.
Yeah.
Get the point? That's that. Get the point? They died, ain't no sweat. They ain't never get to come in the truth. I'm gonna work harder now. I'm going to work harder because if it is you love your brother and them so much, you would come into the truth.
Right.
So nobody else brother has to die. Maybe you could come in the truth and save brothers. Right. And somebody would be like, damn, I'm so glad you come to the truth. But recently, a young brother, he introduced me to his family member, his sister helping us out. She's like, listen, I don't do this for nobody anyway, and this is what you all have me doing here, I don't do it. She said, but I saw what you all did for my nephew. I don't care who you all are, but y'all change him and just keep doing what you're doing. I said, the Most High in Christ. I said, goddamn, I thought it was a cult. She said, I don't know who you all are or what you all do, but I know who he was and I know who he is now. Whatever you all did to him, just keep doing it. Like, you could come in here and do that for somebody instead of whining and pining over your brother. Your brother live a life, man. He lived, and he died. He gone now. He ain't gonna be in this hell no more. Right. What you doing? What you doing? Keep reading.
Oh, God. But he answered, who is my mother and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
Whosoever do the will of my Father in heaven, the same is my brother, the same is my mother, the same is my father. Right. Like that's what, like your brother ain't dead. Your brothers are alive. The problem is you don't see your living brothers. You see your dead brothers, so the pain of a dead man haunts you. Right. All right? Give me one last three. I know they said this was the last one. So like, give me one last one. Not that. Give me Luke 20 and 38. Hold on, give me Matthew 22 and 32. Hold on, I think that's what I want.
Sorry, you said Matthew?
Matthew 22 and 32.
He said, the water, sir.
No sweat.
For the answer and precept.
No sweat. Give me Matthew 22 and 32.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 32. I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living.
Right, read that last part.
God is not the God of the dead, but of the living.
Right, this power we have is not the power of the dead, but of the living. Right. He's the power of the living ark. Ecclesiastes says a living dog is better than a dead lion.
Right.
Your brother is dead and gone, and Lord be with him. You should now seek to get what he did not get, which is the truth. And you should seek it with all your might and all your power. You listen, you mad about your brother dying? Let me give you the ultimate thing you should do. You should now live your life for your brother and reach a level where the man who killed your brother comes into the truth after you. That's where you should go with the shit.
Right.
Like if you really loved your brother, you should now say, you know what, man, my brother was so good and so righteous and blah, blah, blah. You should come in here and become a beast of a teacher,
Right.
a beast of a priest and officer, and go out there and do the work of the Lord so tough that this brother who murdered your brother comes in the truth and tells you Salakia, and he know what he took. And you say, man, don't even sweat it, man. Just get up in your all black. We lose enough.
Right.
And y'all could come together for the sake of your brother.
Right.
Right? It seems hard. Any Christians say they all come together for Christ? And Christ is our brother too, right? If we could come together for Christ, you and this murderer could surely come together for the sake of your brother. You could surely do it if you really want to be on a level up. You really want to take it there.
Right.
That's really where you need to go. You need to come in here and be so powerful and push the truth so hard.
Right.
It takes over the earth.
That's
Like
right.
the name is all over, speaking and teaching and raising up camps. That nowhere this murderer goes, he can't escape a UPK camp until one day he gets a flyer.
That's right.
And sits in class and be like, I killed this man's brother, man.
Right.
Let me come in here and get right.
Right.
And then you forgive him. Who knows what kind of burden he carried? You think it's easy to murder somebody?
Right.
You think it's easy? Have these sisters out here dying to hair, all different color, tattooing all under their neck, everything. Crazy out their mind from trauma. It ain't easy after aborting babies. It ain't easy to kill somebody.
That's right.
You know what kind of burden you would relieve somebody by just forgiving them. But you can't forgive them if you're dwelling on the pain. But then you could forgive them if you're dwelling on moving ahead,
Right.
and creating something brand new and strong and powerful. You could do it out. But if you in the world, you're going to be dead with people in the world and do what people in the world do.
Right.
You could come in here and be on the side of the living, and that murderer walk through the door and you teach him how to change his life.
Right.
That's what you should do, because you never was able to teach your brother how to change his. So come teach this brother here how to change his life, so nobody else got to suffer like you do because this murderer done killed somebody else.
That's right.
That's what you should do. That's forgiveness. That's the real forgiveness. And maybe the Lord now will turn and forgive you for some shit you did. All right? With that, pass the class over to priest and officer Kagama.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. New rules for brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'ashur. 10% of every penny or any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department of teachers. Priest funds, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upholding convocation, which is Hanukkah, we're in right now. So I can get the
Purim is right to the back.
Oh yeah, Comic-Con. Purim, the 14th day, the 15th day of the 12th month, Monday, February 14th and 15th, 2022. You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 20 through 31. Remind Akim and Akwathin to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, and scarves. And with that, I said Amadia, which means to stand. Men of Israel will give word color salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadia Shabbat, Amadia, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yo, your Matah, class is missed.
Let's hit the end live.
Come on.
So, you could tell it's touch screen too, all right? You see that?
I got you.
Yeah, hit that.